One Team, One Podcast back, episode 128.
That is correct. You nailed it.
Oh, all right.
Hey.
I didn't even think about it until literally just then. 128. All right. So this episode, we have a few things we have to go over as far as New Mexico, the New Mexico game.
Mm-hmm.
Complete domination from LSU.
No doubt.
We are headed to our first real road game of the season at Auburn. So this was where we were always thinking it could be a little tricky starting now as far as SEC play, but Auburn is looking like trash. We'll talk about that. It is Jack and Charlie here with us. And as always, all of our audio podcasts are brought to you by Bank of England Mortgage. That's Patrick Michelson over at Bank of England Mortgage, BOE southernstates.com. That's their Baton Rouge office at 225 810-1805 for all your mortgage and refi needs. Contact Bank of England Mortgage, and you can use their Fast App feature online and let them find the best options for you. Patrick's a great guy. Let him do that. Also, Fred's in Tigerland since 1982, the Baton Rouge oldest bar. Were you guys at Fred's? Charlie, I don't think you were this week, huh?
I was out of town.
Okay, Jack, did you make it?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I was at Fred's.
I know the other guys made it at
Yeah.
a short window there.
Very short.
But they had
yeah.
I didn't know Parish County Line was playing
Mhm.
Saturday night. It sounded like it was it Saturday night? Yeah.
Yeah.
Megan Making Money was there. They had a couple of guys from Barstool.
Well, Megan was
as
there
well.
on or I guess
Friday
Megan
and
was probably
Saturday.
yeah.
Yeah, so she's
That's
like
Mitzi
living
was
there
there
now.
Saturday morning.
No, I didn't
Mitzi
go
was there Saturday
Friday.
morning.
William wanted me to come with him, and I just didn't feel like going out that night. I was doing stuff, and he texted me a picture of Megan making money at Fred's, and he was like, "I'm never gonna forgive you." I was like, "You can go to Fred's."
Oh, yeah.
Like-
Okay. I remember hearing that actually now. Also, screwdrivers. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Tennessee game in a second, being moved up to 11 o'clock. Screwdrivers. Fred's Screwdrivers is where it's at on that Saturday morning. So everybody make it over there. Also, big shout out to River City's Total Maintenance. Lucas Ragusa, him and his wife Michelle are actually in Las Vegas right now. But River City's Total Maintenance, we appreciate those guys. They're at a carrier convention. They're a factory authorized carrier dealer in the North Shore and New Orleans area. Give Lucas Ragusa a call at 504-841-3300 and NOLA-AC.com. Been serving the New Orleans and North Shore area since 1980. So we appreciate those guys. All right. So let's get to it. I guess let's start with the New Mexico game.
Right.
The stat sheet domination, I think, was the biggest thing at the end of the day. Is like, holy shit.
No, yeah, it was just totally just.
That's not a
entire game.
terrible team either. That is not like playing Southern. You know what I mean?
And I think their offense, I was expecting our defense to look really good. Maybe not shutout, maybe not no, like, just complete only 2 first downs. I wasn't expecting that level of domination, but I was expecting our defense to look good. So something we talked about last week. We were just saying, like, at the very end of the show, we said what areas do you want to see the team just like excel at?
Yeah.
I said I want the running game to look good, and both of y'all said you want the defense and the passing game to look good.
Yeah.
We hit all 3.
Yeah, we had them all. Yeah, we got it all.
400 yards, over 400 yards passing, over 200 yards running, less than 100 yards defensively. So,
the stat that blew me away with that was the largest yardage margin in the history of LSU football.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, was it really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It was like over 600 total, over 600 total yards to like 88.
88
total. It was.
Right. It was
the largest of all time.
545 yard total.
So everybody's like, "Oh, sleepy. This is just ho hum, New Mexico." No, it was the largest differential in LSU football history.
Right.
You have to take that as a positive, right? Like,
no fucking doubt. I mean, yeah, there's no way to take it otherwise, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they look like they're playing on all cylinders on defense right now. And to me, the addition of like Harold Perkins and like Savion Jones, like rushing in both sides, like shit like that is like it. To me, it's taken that defense to a different place than what
Right.
it was against Florida State. Like no doubt.
And then you think about like obviously not playing against a good team, but you didn't have BJ or Jay Ward. Who
Yeah.
else were we missing?
Major Burns went out early.
Major Burns. I mean, yeah,
Well,
we
Mason
didn't.
Smith.
Whoa,
Mason,
I
right.
know,
that's
but
all. That's
still.
all year. But that's such a weird thing. Like I always, whenever there's a guy that's out for the whole year, I'm always like, yeah, but like he's out
Yeah,
all year.
you
But
can't
like
just keep you can't keep
you can't
harping
bring it up
on
every. I mean, we can
right,
bring it
right.
up every. Maybe we will bring it up every
Yeah.
week. But actually, I'm gonna bring it up every
No,
week.
it'll be a
Now that I think
breaking
about
news
it.
alert every
Week.
Yeah,
episode.
Mason Smith still on
Yeah,
the injury
breaking.
report.
He's
Still out.
still out for the season.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that's
Um,
Makai Wingo. That's his name, right?
Yes.
I
yes.
nailed that.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Credit
yeah.
to me. Credit to
I know
me.
where you're going with this.
He looks awesome. I mean, he's jumped right in and has just been like he's all SEC guy. What was he?
Yeah.
Defensive player of
Highest
the week.
rated PFF defensive tackle in college football right now.
Wow.
Oh,
Like period.
for the whole
Like for
season.
the whole season. Yes.
So far, yes.
Oh
I
shit!
saw that
So,
stat too.
yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's
It was
Damn, I
also
didn't
the
know that.
defense. Yeah, it was the defense's first total shutout since 2018 as well.
wow.
Wow.
Another
I
crazy
don't even know what
stat
to say to
was
that.
like
That's insane.
like Emory Jones graded out as like a 95 blocking or something like that. Like this is fucking insane, right?
Yeah,
Like
and that's a good New Mexico defense too. Like,
No, that is a
yeah,
good New
yeah.
Mexico defense. I agree. Yeah, that's a team that held I think Boise State to like
I think they won like
just not
Boise won
much.
like 31-14 or something like that. It
No,
wasn't
it
like
was I think it's 27-10 or something like that,
okay.
and then
Yeah.
Boise State had a defensive touchdown in that game, so they only gave up 20 points defensively.
Yeah.
Boise State's not a pushover or anything like that.
What I like to see out of our defense, and it feels like this is 2 weeks in a row, you have a very one-dimensional offense that you're playing.
Mhm.
Like Mississippi State's going to be pass heavy. They're going to run the ball when they can, but it's mostly because you're dropping guys back or whatever. But they're throwing the ball more than anything. And New Mexico liked to run the ball. They didn't really have a quarterback that can kind of push the ball down the field.
And now we play Auburn, who's
next week,
no dimensional.
yeah, it's like, dude, all they have in my
There are zero
opinion,
dimensions to their offense.
yeah.
Is
So
one running back.
I don't think. We can jump right into that if you want right now. We can kind of go back and forth with these two games, but like,
Pretty
all right,
much, yeah.
who's starting at quarterback for Auburn? Is it?
Who
I mean,
cares?
TJ Finley.
Whoever starts is going to get hurt.
Yeah, he's been practicing some. I think he's cleared to practice, I believe, but like I don't know if he's
Both
gonna be able
guys
to
are
play.
nicked up. Both of them are
But
nicked up.
Well,
to me, Ashford is your running guy, but like that means they don't have any passing game. Like
I think regardless, Ashford will play like a good amount.
I think
least
their
half the
only
game.
shot is TJ Finley.
I totally
Bobby
disagree.
Ashford.
Really?
I think Ashford's their only way to win because
he's the only one who could do what Bo Nix did last year. He's the only one that can kind of run around and escape the defense.
Yeah,
TJ's
I like
a statue, dude. I mean, this offensive line they have is just so bad that like Auburn fans on Twitter are the most annoying people in the planet.
Yeah,
and they even like don't
and you're
have
going on
anything
one
to
of
say.
their shows tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going on their show tomorrow, and I'm gonna be easy on it, but like I'm gonna be like, so like if I hear anything like confidence wise out of them, I'm gonna be like, guys, like
settle down.
This is the worst offensive line in the SEC. Like
they don't have any starters from week 1 on the offensive line. I think every single one is hurt.
That's crazy.
That is.
Charlie Stats.
They lost their preseason All-American center before the first game. He had to medically retire, I think. And then their starting center went out like the second play of the game versus Mizzou.
I heard this. It's an old Mike Detillier stat. I heard it on. Hopefully, it wasn't Matt Moscona. That's burned in my fucking skull. But I think it was something about whenever the starting center is out, the next game they lose 80% of the time, which is just a made up stat. But it shows you like that. Usually, that does make a big difference. Like going from a starter out to the next game. Yeah, so I don't see the only reason why I was saying TJ Finley is that I felt like they needed like they have Tank Bixby. They can try to run the ball. But I
Can they
think they
run the
need
ball?
somebody to push it downfield, and I don't think I've seen Robbie
They don't
Ashford
have any
play. He
receivers.
is not gonna no, they've never had Auburn
Their
has
receivers aren't
never
good.
had wide receivers.
Well, that's
Ever.
why I think it has to be Ashford because Ashford's the only thing that I can think of that's going to give them a run game. And
Yeah,
Tank
Yeah,
I
Bixby's
so
think
good and
they
everything, but
right.
that offensive line, I mean, he has nowhere to go.
I mean, but
They've
then again,
averaged
then if you're one dimensional, you're fucking toast. And they're probably toast anyway,
right,
but
which is
like you're
exactly
really
why
toast.
Robbie Ashford has to start, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Because I mean, if TJ plays, yeah, they can throw the ball downfield, but to who? I
Oh,
mean, everyone's covered.
yeah.
Their receivers create no separation, so he's sitting there forever, and he only has 2 seconds to throw in the first place, and that he hasn't even played against our defensive line yet.
oh my
Not
god,
that Penn
I was
State
about to
doesn't have a
say
good defensive
this
line; they
defensive
do.
rotation on the front seven is going to just kill
It's gonna
whoever's
be,
at
dude. It's gonna
quarterback.
be disgusting to watch.
Man, I
Um,
just it's hard for me to see that we would blow them out at home,
right,
but
just because it hasn't
at
happened
this
in so
yeah, but
long.
at the
Yeah,
same time I'm like this is just
This is a terrible
we would have
Auburn
to
team.
turn the ball over and like play the worst
yeah,
game ever for
Right.
them to like
It's
keep
it's
it close with us.
it's gonna take some Jordan Hair magic, which is
yeah.
Jordan hair.
Somebody's
whatever.
going to burn down a barn somewhere and blame us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's like we've seen it so many times where just weird things happen at Auburn. Which is why I feel uneasy because like if it does happen and something
Yeah,
crazy happens, like
Mhm.
I'm gonna be like I've seen this before.
Yeah.
yeah. 1 second
Um,
on the clock left. Danny Etling snaps it with no time left
yeah.
after that.
Right.
But like it's just gonna take strange plays, like just super lucky plays throughout the game for Auburn to even be close.
Yeah,
Yeah. I agree with that. I yeah, I can't see them being able to score enough points without us throwing like a pick six or a fumble
And
in the
Jaden
red
Daniels
zone or
takes care of the
whatever.
ball. So
Yeah.
like
he's
where
not
does
very
that
good.
happen? Um,
That's their only shot is defensively is
and they
making
have a
the
good
play on
defense.
us. They do.
I know Penn State scored 41 on them, but that was largely just because like
It was
they were
garbage
turning
time and it
they were
was
turning yeah, they were turning the ball over and then, you know, just Penn State just was running it down their throats. Defense got
mhm.
tired at the end.
Yeah.
Um, but that defense is still pretty good. It's not
Yeah,
41 isn't indicative of how good that defense is, I don't think.
I agree. I watched a good bit of that Missouri game.
Yeah, me too.
Missouri should have won twice.
They should have won.
I
God,
mean,
they should have won.
if they would have if Missouri would have
That's Jordan
won,
Hair magic. That's what we're
yeah,
talking about.
Jordan Hair magic.
The dude
If
fumbles the ball, Ghost strips the ball out of his hand at the fucking inch
two,
line.
yeah.
God,
And then they missed the field goal to win the
right.
game. The yeah that they should have won the game twice, but it was just such a sloppy looking game. Like, but I think it's exactly what we're saying is like their defense was pretty good in holding Missouri down, but then the offense was just complete garbage, like
yeah,
hot garbage. Um, I just don't see how. I'm just hoping that we're just coming in there with shit ton of confidence and like
And we
just
are.
I
yeah.
know
And we are. I mean, the offense is getting better every week too, which is
right
like,
yeah
I mean, I don't see where the angle even is for Auburn other than just sheer luck.
yeah I agree with that. Yeah, I think the only other thing that I was thinking about, I don't know how this hurricane's going to affect weather and all that
I
going
don't
up
think it's gonna be
there.
anywhere close to there, huh?
I don't know. There might be some bands of rain. It could be
Okay.
rainy. I don't know. But yeah, it's just like fumbling, holding onto the ball, shit
Yeah, that
like
would be
that. Muff
rain.
punts.
Rain would probably be advantage them in this game,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
and
right?
muff punts shouldn't happen anymore because
Jack
best friend
Besh,
from Louisiana is back
let's
there.
go.
So I know. I was excited to see that in the game. I was like, oh shit, here we go. I like that change.
Yeah, he
Uh,
looked like it reminded me of Chad Jones, just like slow returner,
he'll run you
but
over
like,
though.
there's
oh
that
yeah,
hole. There it
yeah,
is.
exactly.
Exactly.
He
Yeah.
sees it. He sees it. It's there.
Speaking of a slow guy, you want to give your shout out to Noah Kane?
Oh, Jesus, dude. No, I DM'd him. I actually DM'd him.
Did you really?
I was like, my bad, dude. He like gave it like a thumbs up or whatever. But
Okay.
yeah, yeah, I mean, that couldn't have been a worse take, huh? That's
I mean,
just like
well, I was just thinking about it
Wait.
of all time.
when I saw the bowling ball run that he made. I was like, "Holy shit, this guy! Where did that come from?
No, I
Like,
know. He looked
did they
fucking
just sit him
awesome.
out? Like, why didn't he play? Like, when
I
I
mean,
saw
am I
that, I was like,
wrong? Am I wrong? He looked slow in those first
yeah,
few
but was he
games.
maybe he had some kind of lingering injury that they just didn't say or something, and like they kept him out of the last game.
It's got to be what
But
it is because
I mean,
he looked like
he
he just
looked
was because like
he looked fresh.
it's what I
Yeah.
said last week. It looked like he was just still coming off of an injury.
I mean,
That run he did not look like he was coming off
no,
anything.
no
He
way.
looked like he was like running back one. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Man, I mean, we've got 4 running backs in that room though
Yep.
that can all do things well. So you're not gonna have dull legs, I don't think.
Well, and I
You know what
like
I mean?
that. I like that he got a lot of playing time in this game because then Godwin goes down, and I think he's still probably questionable to play in this game.
Yeah.
Hamstring or whatever. So now you'll have at least Emery,
Emery,
Kane, and
Kane,
Josh Williams.
Josh
Which
Williams, yeah.
dude, I'm
love all
I
of
am a
them.
huge Josh Williams guy.
Oh
Like
yeah.
this guy plays hard, and
Yeah,
he
I want
knows.
him in. I want him to get the ball like
When I want him in, I want him in on
6 to
third.
10 times a game.
When 3rd and 6, when we know they're going to blitz, like I want Josh Williams in the game because I know he's going to be able to pick up the blitz. Like
Yeah.
that's when I want him in there.
Or if it's 3rd and 6 and he's running a bubble out of the backfield, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
Because he's just he's that good of a receiver out of the backfield.
I agree.
It's not like you can make a guy miss or run a guy over, but he figures out a way to get those 6 yards.
Mark that
That's
down
true.
as like
I
on
agree
the
with you.
things that I didn't think were going to happen this year, like Josh Williams being an impact player.
Mhm.
That's just one of the things I didn't think was going to happen this year. So that. I think that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I
Especially,
always just thought of him as like another Leonard, just like
me too. Yeah,
he's there. I don't know
That's
why he's
great.
getting
Same
touches.
number and everything.
Yeah,
27.
he does the
Yeah.
same number. That's right.
Um,
Yeah, just like don't know why he's on the roster, like why he has a scholarship
But I
kind
love
of
that
guy.
guy
But yeah, no, he's earned
going
it.
into Jordan
Earned
Hare
it.
Oh yeah.
at night. It's going to
Mhm.
be probably. I mean, you would think that it's going to be a wild crowd just with LSU
Mhm.
coming in, but I like a guy like that. That's such
We'll
a
see.
Who
Dude,
knows? They
talking to
but
Auburn fans, I live with one. They do not feel
so
good.
all right.
They feel bad.
The biggest key to the game for me is you got to score early. Like go up on these guys. Get up
Yeah,
7-0.
just
Make him feel bad.
Make them
Yeah,
quit.
make them
Make them quit because they
make
will
them
quit.
yeah, and make them realize that they're they suck and
Right.
they may just give up. It reminds me of like 2020, 2021 for us. Like if you
Mhm.
got ahead on us, like we were just demoralized. Like we were ready to end it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think they are too with Harsin.
Yeah.
I mean if that's what I was gonna say earlier was
If
like
it's
if
a
Missouri
big
would have won.
loss,
If Missouri would have won, he was canned.
He
No
was
doubt.
going to get fired,
he
right?
was yeah.
Yep.
I think he'll still get fired
I
after
want to
this
see some
game if
fights
we
on the
beat him by
sideline of
30.
Auburn. Man.
I asked
Make a
Sam
fight.
that. I asked Sam that about if he would get fired after this
Yeah, I
game,
did
and
too.
he didn't think they would, but I think they probably would.
It depends.
Especially
I
if
mean,
we win by,
if they win,
It's a
if
big
we win
win.
close, then yeah, he may stay.
I mean, they're
around a
following it
bit.
up with Georgia right after this too. Like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
a sinking ship.
Georgia,
I mean,
the
Dirty Georgia game, you know what that means?
CBS.
45 to fucking nothing.
Yeah.
that's right. So we can talk about that. CBS picking Georgia Auburn for the 2:30 matchup.
So does CBS not have? They have the first and the third pick. Is that what it is?
So no,
'Cause there's no way they picked Georgia Auburn over LSU
They have the
Tennessee,
first
huh?
and
they
the second.
did. They did. They
They
picked Georgia
did?
Auburn over
They
LSU.
love
They had
that
two.
Georgia
They had
Auburn.
that was the week that they have the primetime slot, so they have a
Right.
doubleheader.
But I don't
But they were
understand.
able to pick both games, and they had already lined it up that they were going to have Alabama, Texas A&M, obviously.
Sure,
But yeah,
fine.
Georgia Auburn they picked ahead of LSU Tennessee.
That's just
Correct.
insane.
I agree.
I mean, I've just been giving them the benefit of the doubt that they didn't have the second pick.
Well, so
But if
here's
they
what
did have the
Charlie.
second pick, that's
Well, here's even worse.
crazy.
Here's even worse. This is what Charlie and I were talking about before we got on, which is it's not only after that, But then ESPN had the picks, and they picked for their nighttime game Kentucky, South Carolina.
Well, they had to do that.
So
They couldn't put LSU Tennessee at the same time as the Bama game.
Right, they can, but they chose not to
Well,
because of
they can't.
ratings.
You're right. They can't. But ratings wise, they had to put it
Ratings
at 11
wise,
o'clock.
that's the
I'm
reason
not
why they
mad at
did it.
ESPN. I'm not mad at ESPN.
Oh,
I'm mad at
right. I'm mad
CBS.
at CBS. Right.
I don't understand how you could pick Georgia Auburn over LSU Tennessee. That doesn't make any
I mean,
sense.
the only thing that they have to go off of is that Georgia is still currently are they number one still in the AP?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because they look
They
like
have like
complete dog
majority of
shit.
the votes.
All
Yeah.
of a sudden, Georgia looked like they were just sleepwalking. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna roll on that, but anyway, that and then it's the South's
You sound
oldest
like you had a bet.
rivalry.
Yeah,
with Georgia. I
that's
did have a
that's
bet.
what I was
Yeah.
about to say.
I
That's
did have a
exactly what
bet.
I was about to say. Is they have that tailgate setup that CBS loves to pan over before the game every single time.
Dude, I'll be honest too. I mean, I think LSU Tennessee is going to be a better game than Bama A&M. I think
I agree.
Bama's going to roll A&M,
Yeah.
dude.
I agree completely.
I just like that just feels like an easy pick too.
Oh,
I think
Bama is
Bama's
going,
winning by
yeah.
2 scores, but it's not going to be a good looking game. You know what I mean?
I think Texas
I don't
A&M's
think either
defense is
team's going to
very
look
good.
great, but I
I
think
think
Bama's winning by 2.
Bama's going to smoke them. I really do. I think they're going to win by like
I think there is a lot of
3
animosity
plus
there.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
And
a revenge game.
right, the reason they picked this game as like their primetime game of the year is because of all the Bama. I mean,
All the
Saban
talk back and
Jimbo.
forth. Right.
Yeah, take a shot every time that they mention that drama. You'll
Yep.
literally die.
I'll already be shit faced by 9 a.m. So what's the point?
Yeah,
of trying
no,
to
you're
take a
right.
shot
I'll
every
be
That
night?
is
shit
true.
faced by 6 a.m.
That's
So
true.
beat you. So yeah, someone said go to sleep at what 6 o'clock,
5. Yeah, 6
5 or
p.m.
6, and
Friday
just
night.
wake up at 3, get the full
Start
tailgating.
pre-gaming.
Yeah, exactly. I like the move. Can Fred's just like pull it all nighter? Can they just stay up? Well, they have to close at
We
like
need to ask
2,
Nate
right?
what time are they opening? Like,
yeah,
like,
how
when
early
I
can they
get my
open?
early
I don't
wristband?
know. I don't know if there's
Like legally,
like a bar liquor law
because they
about
have
what
to
time
close
they
at
open.
what 2?
Yeah, they have to close at 2.
But then what can
And
they?
then
I
open
bet
back
they
up
can open at
at
like 8.
8.
I hope they're open at 8. That's where I'm going first.
Yeah, that would be a great pregame for that game.
Right.
The other, you know what we did last year for the Florida game, same time as we were walking around the RV lots. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And they were all hyped up and they were all doing their thing. I mean, obviously the crowd wasn't quite as big for a pregame like tailgating, but the crowd was
great.
cool. Yeah,
Stadium cool. Yeah.
I thought the
I didn't
tailgating
actually
scene.
shit.
Well, that's why I think people were worried when they announced it that like the stadium's not going to be the same.
I
Like
don't know.
the
The stadium's
stadium
full.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
Stadium's going to be fine. Like
Yes,
I
I
mean,
agree.
people are going to this game. It's a top 10 team.
It's more
Especially
about
after
you just don't
we,
get to experience all the tailgating before the game and all that.
Right.
It just sucks for the fans.
like let's
more
just
than
be
anything.
honest. We're about to beat the hell out of Auburn. So like the energy is going to be fine. Stadium's going to be great. I mean, it's going to be awesome atmosphere. Game.
I see us being a late team going into that game. You know what I mean? I think we get a win versus Auburn and a win versus.
Okay.
It'll be like I think it'll be like 23-24.
Okay, let's talk about the AP poll.
I thought we had Florida between them. My bad.
No.
Yeah. So let's talk about the AP poll. And,
we're like 7 spots out of the AP poll.
Okay,
right
so
now.
we're like 30th or
like 33rd. I think.
Okay. So you think we'll be ranked if we beat Auburn at Auburn?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think
it'll be like a 25 or 23.
Like 24 and down. I could even see us, jumping up to only like 27. There's only one voter that has us in right now, and he has us at like 19.
Do you think that that's the case? Like, if say we beat Auburn, and I understand Auburn's not good this year, but we beat Auburn. Say we beat them by 2 touchdowns, and we're still like 24, even though we're 4-1. Our only loss is by 1 point to Florida State.
Florida State, if they win this week, that could help us a little bit too.
Yeah,
because
Florida State's undefeated.
They play Wake Forest. But they don't have any.
It's a big game.
I mean, they beat us, but they don't have any like high quality wins. So like that's why they're not really climbing very high yet. And you know how the AP poll works. Who cares? But I mean,
is it
they
still
beat Wake
just
Forest this week? I think they jump up to like probably 12 area.
It's still a perception of like, okay, we're we're just not very good, and then there's still like this whole Brian Kelly perception, like
Yeah,
national.
for sure. And I mean, but we did after we beat Mississippi State, there was a little bit of recognition that came, but it still was
Although,
just like,
although who was it? Maybe
Mississippi
you
State
pull it
ahead
up.
of us.
Yeah, SEC Mike, I believe, from that SEC pod, I believe is what it is. But he had his like top SEC schools, and he actually has Mississippi State still above LSU, which I think they're above in the AP poll too. Correct?
nah, Mississippi State doesn't have any votes.
Okay. Well, he still has them like above them, and it got a lot of Mississippi State people chirping on Twitter about how the best team didn't win and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
what
how
are
do
you
you watch the
talking?
game and
I don't
think
know.
that?
Like, it was like
I
we
mean, we
wore you down.
we dominated that game. Like, what
Yeah.
are we talking about?
I don't know.
What was it
Your
with a
defense
fluke?
couldn't keep up.
Like, what are we talking about?
I don't know where that's coming from. But yeah, I think there's still this like perception that we're not very good, and I don't think that we're great, but I also don't think that we're bad, and we're definitely not as bad as we looked against Florida State. Like, and
No, for sure.
we still could have
And
like.
Yeah.
Florida State is a good team.
I agree. I
Is a
agree.
lot better than we
Come on.
thought. I think they will
Now,
Pull up
beat
AP
Wake
poll real
Forest.
quick.
Is
Hang on.
Jordan Travis out for the year? Did we
No,
ever
I don't
find
think
that out?
so. I don't think so. Is he?
Well, that Louisville game, he got hurt really bad, and
Yeah.
I don't know if he was out for the year or not. But anyway, if he was still healthy, like, yeah, I think they're a good team. We still should have like played better, and there was a potential that we could have won.
Jordan Travis played against Boston College this past week.
Okay,
And
okay,
played well. It looks like.
okay, good.
Kansas is still out of the AP poll too.
Kansas is still out.
Yeah, I
Well,
think they're
that,
the last one out.
I can understand that perception of Kansas not being
Yeah,
good enough.
for sure.
But like the perception of LSU
Years and
not
years
being
and
good
years.
enough, that's different, you know.
All right, here it is.
Okay, so
Pull it up.
yeah, anybody else on there that kind of like is like weird to you? Oklahoma.
Florida State's
So
ranked
all right.
23,
So Kansas State loses to Tulane.
but beats the shit out of OU.
Beats the shit out of OU. Like, dude, this is one of the weirdest college football seasons already, in my
We're
opinion.
having 2007 too.
Did y'all see my post about Appalachian State today?
Yeah, I did briefly.
Didn't they
But
lose
read it again or talk about it again.
Okay, yeah. So I'll just go over some of it. So they first game of the year, y'all might remember. It feels like years ago.
Right.
They beat they lost to North Carolina 61-63. They they got it to 55 to 56
points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. That's it. Just crazy game. They tried to go for it to take the lead with like 30 seconds left. Went for 2, didn't get it.
Right.
Onside kick. North Carolina returns the onside kick for a touchdown. And somehow, in 20 seconds, Appalachian State scored another touchdown. Goes for 2 again to try to tie it this time. Still doesn't get it. I mean, just the most insane last 30 seconds I've ever seen.
Right.
Also, the score was so crazy high. Next game, they go to College Station, win that game. Obviously insane. They like burn their city down pretty much. They get College Game Day, host Troy, beat them on a Hail Mary. And I just don't even know what to say about that. It's just, and then this past week they played James Madison at home, and they were up 28-3 in the second quarter, and somehow blow the game and ended up losing.
Wow.
Yeah. Does Tennessee have a bye before us?
Yes, they do.
They do. They're off this week.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. That's a
great that's a great schedule for them then.
Yeah, no doubt. And then I think week after us they play Bama at home.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, that's pretty. They're about after that bye they go through an absolute gauntlet. But
all right, I'll stop sharing.
I think Tennessee could beat Alabama too. Just
I don't think their defense has the
weeks away,
chops to keep up. That's why.
Yeah, but I just think Bama's terrible on the road, dude. I really do.
They haven't been good. That's true. I also had a question. How the fuck do they know what color to wear in that goddamn stadium?
So
Do they
I
have
was
chairs and seats?
I don't know if they had
I don't
Maybe
shirts
think
it's
on
on
so.
the
the
ticket.
No,
seats, or if it was
tickets
like
colored.
yeah, it must be some kind of like coordination on it. But yeah, you could never do that in Tiger Stadium.
No,
Like
I remember the
they
gold
people
games.
just don't give a shit about that
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, we
y'all remember
tried to
gold
do.
games?
Yeah, I try. I
Mhm.
remember gold games. Um, yeah, it
The
was
one time
never.
I remember, it was 2010 against Mississippi State, and it was a gold game, and I think we did
I
pretty
remember
good.
that one.
Um,
Well, we had a gold game versus West Virginia too in 2010
it was
or
also 2010.
2000.
Yeah, I went to that game. I don't remember. Was that
I think that was a gold game.
they were both 2010? But I can't remember now. But I thought I remember the Mississippi State one being a pretty good gold game. But other than that, yeah, LSU's horrible at color coordination.
Yes.
It's because nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, no, people just don't listen, and we're just all too drunk. I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also the women down south, like down further south in Tennessee, um,
Yeah.
tend to like change 3 or 4 times before they go out.
hmm
I don't think I
Charlie's
like
just
that
over
either.
here complaining about women.
Yeah,
Jesus. Yeah.
yeah.
Um.
Stupid women.
All right. So, any other big games coming up this week? I couldn't remember any
Well,
off the top of
there's
my head.
Bama at Arkansas.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's right. Okay.
Bama's a 17.5
Clem-
point favorite.
Clemson, North Carolina State.
Oh, right. I think
I like.
Clemson's a 6.5 point favorite there, or seven,
And
seven.
it's at North Carolina State.
No, it's
Uh,
at Clemson.
at Clemson.
See, okay, yeah, I
Game
like
day.
Clemson. I still like Clemson there.
I like
Is
Clemson at
that
home.
do you think that's game day, or you
No, it
already
is
know
game.
it's game day?
It is game day. Yeah.
Okay. Um,
Baylor,
you know,
Oklahoma State.
I watched that.
All right.
I watched that Clemson Wake Forest game, and one of the things that I saw out of that game was like, I fucking love Sam Hartman.
I know.
Love him.
I know.
He's a dog.
And then after watching the Saints game,
Dog,
I
man.
was like, I like
Looks
that
good in
guy.
black and gold.
Like I don't know. If it's like a third round pick or something like that or whatever, like I think you could take a flyer on this guy. Like he looks really good, and he may not have the strongest arm in the world, but he's like a better Jake Fromm,
I can see
Don't
that.
say that. I
a
don't like Jake Fromm.
non-racist,
Yeah.
a non-racist Jake Fromm.
DJ Uyunglele had a great game too.
Yeah, he
Finally,
did.
it's about
Yeah,
damn
I
time.
was like, he hadn't looked good. He didn't look
No, he
great.
hadn't.
No, it's about time for him to have a good game. I almost like felt good for him. I hate Clemson with all my heart, but I almost felt good for him that he had a good game finally.
Yeah.
I know.
He
He
go
just
for it.
he was always so inaccurate. Like
Yeah, that's what I
Right.
was about to say. I was like, he just doesn't have a good ball coming out, man. Like,
Yeah, it just
doesn't
like
look good.
no, you're right. You're right.
It
For
looks like
sure.
something
It's
you
so
could shoot,
strong.
man.
It's got such a strong arm.
he
though.
does.
I
He
mean,
really
my
does.
God.
And I watched a lot of that game too, and he was putting a lot of things on the money in that game, and they needed it. They needed all the points they can get against Wake Forest. That's a good team, Wake Forest.
Mhm.
I think
No, Wake
they'll
Forest, Florida State this week is going to be a good, really good
That's like a
game.
surprise.
that would be a
Yeah,
good game.
that's a
So all right, do we want to start doing predictions for LSU Auburn?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and I think Jack, ours was the same, or did you change it?
Change it a little bit. I mean, I've been like at the time that I saw your score, I was at the same part. I was at the same number, but like I've honestly changed like multiple times per hour this whole week so far. Um,
Okay.
I think I'm sitting at like 31-7. Like I
Ooh.
just think we're gonna beat the hell out of them, dude.
Okay.
And I think our offense is rolling right now, and I think that their offense is deteriorating.
Yeah. He's
Just
getting fired if they lose 31-7. Yes.
Oh yeah.
no doubt about
No
it.
doubt.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
think they're
This is
gonna have
like the Les
people.
Miles revenge.
I think the stadium's not going to be a
I
great
think Les Miles is
atmosphere.
going to be at the game.
That's not even the name of the episode. The Les Miles revenge. That'll get the
Yeah.
clicks.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think the stadium's going to be a good atmosphere. And I think when you have Jordan Hare, that's supposed to be the giant advantage. I don't think they're going to show up.
Mm.
Um, and I think the people that do show up are going to leave after, a quarter and a half or so after LSU's up by whatever amount. I just don't think that they're very excited about this Auburn football team. And
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a big part of it. This offensive line is terrible. We're going to be all over whoever's playing quarterback all day.
I love our pressure packages, and I'm sure it's going to be even more in this game because they just can't stop anybody anyway.
And I don't think LSU hasn't really benefited from like winning turnover battles this year so far.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to win the turnover battle by 2 or 3, and that's just going to really lead into our offense like having a good day.
I like the video you put together about the sacks that they've given up,
Right.
and but what you were doing is you were putting together clips of like a blitz package from Penn State, and then you would do a similar blitz package from LSU, and
I'll
then
be
like
honest, that was not intentional, but it did come
but
out that way.
It did, I know, and I was like, okay, we can actually do that same. Have that same effect against them,
Right, and I was showing that against Mississippi State, who has a significantly better offensive line than
for
Auburn.
sure.
Oh yeah,
like, not even close.
Right.
We had 3 versus them, right? Because we had Harold had 1.5 and BJ had 1.5. Right?
We had 4
against Mississippi State,
and then Savion Jones had another.
That's what it was. I was missing him.
Savion Jones, that's another guy. Just he's a just freaking menace on the outside.
Yeah.
All right, so 31-7. Charlie, go ahead. What do you got?
So I've actually got like a bold hot take. 2 defensive touchdowns from LSU and like 5 combined sacks in one half.
Jesus Christ!
We're running it. It's going to be like 38-0. I think we get a second shutout.
Wow. The only reason I'm not saying shutout is because like it's so hard to shut a team out.
You don't know what's
especially
gonna go.
away.
Yeah.
But I could see the shutout. I got really good.
Well, I mean, just the way we rotated our linebackers last week and versus Mississippi State, I think all of our linebackers complement each other pretty well. You've got 2 or 3 guys who could play the run and kind of play the pass pretty well, and then you got 2 or 3 guys who could just play the pass super well, and then the other guy can stop the run. So it's just like, you've got linebackers that could just do.
And with the linebackers too, Harold Perkins completely neutralizes Ashford
for sure.
Like he's faster than Ashford.
Yeah. I mean, and he can actually sit back in almost like a zone, but also
like delayed blitzes,
or he can fly. Yeah,
yeah.
Like
I mean, yeah.
And you're not going to outrun that guy. You're just not.
No.
That guy's a fucking freak.
As a true freshman, his speed is unparalleled.
Have you seen
he might be the fastest guy on the field at all times?
He might be the best true freshman linebacker ever at LSU. I can't think of anybody better than him.
And he's already wearing 40.
I know.
You know what I mean?
At the end of 2016, Devin White was like as good as Devin White ever was. But to start the year, no, I can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's unparalleled.
It's Marcel Brooks-ish, but better.
And so I know
less one-dimensional.
Well, I always think of Marcel. We talk about. I think we had a complete infatuation with Marcel Brooks for about a year on this podcast. But like now, I'm thinking of guys like Savion Jones as being like those guys that are just like freaks off the edge.
And
he's actually huge. Like he's a big guy.
We haven't even
Marcel wasn't as big.
Desmond Little.
He's
been. I mean, he's
kind of been hurt. He's been hurt.
Was he hurt this past week?
I know he was hurt versus State and versus Southern.
Well, no, he played against Southern. He was knocking down balls. That was when Ojulari was out.
He was
actually the guy that was number 8 in there, and I was like, wait, that's not Ojulari. Ojulari's 18. Oh yeah, it's Desmond Little, like a guy that was completely off my radar, and he was just like knocking balls down. I think he got a fumble recovery, like all kinds of shit happening. Oh, the Baskerville pick 6. He tipped the ball.
Right.
That's why it was a pick 6 from Baskerville. So, yeah, we got freaks all over the place, and it was like, man, if you could replay that Florida State game. I know they're not probably thinking that.
Yeah,
but
if you could reposition that Florida State game to like middle of the season.
Or have a week 0 game.
Going and
oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Let's not go back there.
No. That one's going to be like it's going to be like the 2020 Mississippi State game for the podcast, the reference of the Florida State game and the week 0.
You should never have a new head coach. This is the rule. You should never have a new head coach without a week 0 game. Should never happen.
I agree. It
That
should
should
be
be
in the
the rule.
contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so my
Moving on.
prediction is 24-10
Mhm.
LSU. I actually was at 24-17 for this game, and I flipped it, and it's more because I think they're going to be completely one dimensional, and there's nothing that they're going to be able to do. But at the same time, I'm just so used to these games, and like I just can't see it not being close. And
To an
then
extent.
to an extent where eventually we pull ahead, maybe is kind of what I'm thinking. But it could be like 17-10 in the fourth quarter, and then we have that last touchdown. That's in my head. So
Right.
it's just hard for me to believe that you can just go in there and like
Beat the
beat
shit out of
down, at Auburn. I
Right.
just it hadn't happened very often.
I do think this does feel like a game where Auburn gets a backdoor, touchdown somewhere
Could
in
be
there.
that too. It could be that too, like 24-3, and then all of a sudden they get a touchdown at the end or something like that. I think their defense is good enough to keep them in the game. I
Yeah,
I
I feel like I said 31-7. I feel like it's like 17-7 at halftime. So like we're
Okay.
not beating the hell out of them, but we're controlling the game,
We're in control of
and
the game.
then we
Okay.
just
I agree with that.
you
I like
take
that.
over second half kind of thing, or like 14-7 halftime, like one
You have
score
to
game.
you have to be strong on your predictions tomorrow when you're on this other guy's podcast, okay? Like you
Mhm.
need to be like confident and like, no, here's the way it's gonna go down, dick. Like that's how you have to do it.
I think I'm gonna take the nice guy approach and then just like
Okay.
hammer him at the end.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Like nice guy, like yeah, I think TJ's a really good dude. Those kind of things,
Or like
and then be like, but he fucking sucks.
or act like
Can't
you
really
have a
run
hot
from the
like
cops anymore.
say,
Can you?
okay, well I'll talk to you guys soon and act like you hung it up, but you have a hot mic going on, like, oh these
Uh,
guys are fucking
they're fucking screwed.
Dak Prescott.
They have no fucking idea.
They don't even know who Desmond Little is. All right, so yeah, those are our three scores: 31-7, 38-0. Charlie,
Sheesh.
you didn't even have us scoring more than 35 against Southern.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm high on this.
We haven't
I'm high
roasted
on
you
this.
for that Southern pick yet, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're all over
35
the
points
place.
to Southern.
Yeah, and now we're going to score 38 against Auburn.
This is how much I disdain Auburn football.
Okay, so your hatred and your
So it's
emotions.
emotional.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
emotional.
okay.
I
It's
understand.
emotional.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
No, I'll tell you what. I think emotionally, I'm like just feeling like I really hope we just beat the absolute hell out of Tennessee, because I don't think I can just stand losing that game.
To Tennessee.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I want that game so bad.
I do too, and you know me, I've picked us to lose that game twice now.
Yeah, that's
when
right.
we redid the review.
Yeah.
But like I still like yes,
Internally,
that is the hurdle game for me. Like if you beat that,
Yeah.
if you beat them, I think then we can start talking about like having a really really good season, like
Playoffs.
playoffs. Yeah, against Florida State in playoffs.
Exactly correct.
4%.
All right.
4%
So
chance.
a couple of sponsors before we head out here. Bocock Brothers Cigars. We need to talk about our guy Doug. He's going to be in town. I got to figure out which games he's coming to, but they have a new cigar that just came out. I had a tasting of it the other day, and he's going to be getting me a new some sets of boxes coming in. But BocockBrothers.com. They have golf gear. They do cigar rolling events. LSU grads. They live in Houston, and great products. So go check out Bocock Brothers Premium Cigars. Also, courtesy Buick GMC, courtesy Automotive Group. Our guy Brandon Lejean is making the deals. Look at him. Look at that clean bald head he's got. 337-224-1867, courtesyautomotive.com. Our guy Brandon Lejean is working it up over there. So give him a call. Talk about basketball. He's all on the Matt McMahon train right now. So he loves LSU basketball. All right. And Matt McMahon had a press conference the other day, right?
Yeah, he did.
I didn't hear it at all.
Me neither.
He was talking about. I think he was talking about the allegations that came, or the not allegations, but like the penalties and like what does he expect the other stuff to come down? He's like, I really don't care.
I saw they had a Matt Anderson like buzz like topic.
What was that?
8 to 9 man rotation. That's what he said.
fucking A. Give me 10 to 11, please. If we have,
he said, don't expect any platoons. Don't expect anything like that. He says, I'm comfortable with 8 to 9, and any coach that says 8 to 9 means they're 8, and if they have injuries, it's 7.
Yeah,
you know.
Let me get John Brady on the phone again.
Uh-huh.
Dude, I can't stand that. Like, if we have 10 to 11 guys, spell one guy for like 2 minutes, get a foul, pick it up, or whatever you need to do. Especially if you have a big body on the bench, like it drives me fucking bananas. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, basketball. I have no idea what to expect. I don't know any of the players. Like,
yeah,
I still need to learn names.
Yeah, I
I
feel
have
like
no
you
idea
got to
what the
watch.
starting 5 even is going
It's
to
like
be.
you got to watch some Murray State basketball. Like
Yeah.
Fuck
KJ
that.
Williams.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, KJ Williams is supposed to be a stud. But it's like you're going in the SEC. The SEC is fucking loaded. Arkansas is out of
Oh
their
yeah,
mind
Arkansas
loaded.
looks really good.
They have like 3 5-stars that just walked in. Get this. Like, all right, so Arkansas, Auburn, Kentucky, they're all loaded. Duke, okay? If you go look at the rivals recruiting rankings from last year, Duke got the number 1, the number 3, and the number 4 players in the country. All this year at Duke. So
1, 3, and 4.
yes,
That's pretty similar to what they did that Zion year. They had 1, 2, 3.
Right, with
Zion,
RJ Barrett,
RJ, and Cam Reddish.
Yeah, that's right. Similar way. So I can't see.
And then they just like very low key had 7 and 12 also.
Yeah, right. They're like the bench guys.
Right. Like 12th man.
Yeah. So LSU had a great like recruiting class as far as like transfers and all that, but it's like you're at a different level when you talk about like Arkansas has 3 5-stars that just walked in the door.
No, this is a rebuild and a half. Yeah,
it is. I think they're going to be good, and they're going to be like.
I think we'll be.
It'll be.
I just hope we're fun. I just hope we're fun.
Yeah,
exactly. I agree.
I'm not expecting you to even win half your games in conference. You don't have to. You can go 7 and 11, and I can be okay.
See, I can see like a 10 and 8, and you're competitive, but
if the
like
SEC is stacked.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, you're gonna have a very
10 and 8 is stealing some games for LSU, I think.
But also, I think you're still somewhat talented, but you're also very, very experienced. Like that's I think the
I do think some of the energy, like fan base wise, in basketball is definitely sucked out right now.
Yeah.
Like even when it starts, I just don't feel like there's going to be like a big, like basketball is back kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just especially now
because of the Will Wade, just because of like getting rid of Will Wade and like
the Will Wade stuff for sure. I mean, everyone loved Will Wade.
I was about to say, I was like, everybody liked Will Wade. Will Wade was a very well liked guy.
Not on Twitter,
right?
Not on Twitter, they didn't.
Well, after he got fired, sure, but like,
Will Wade is a fraud talk. That was big. At one point,
yeah, that was. But I mean, I think generally everyone of the people who are just going to always support LSU love Will Wade, right? I mean, he's a very likable dude.
And going to basketball games the last couple of years was just so fucking.
It was just fun. It was just fun, exactly. And
like
it depends.
Yeah, the Kentucky game last year was just amazing. Like it was a great game.
Right. I mean, a lot of it is going to depend on McMahon here. See how he just handles the fans.
Well, and I think it's similar to Brian Kelly. I think we talked about this. Like I don't think anybody's used to the fact that now we have a football coach and a basketball coach that are both really great developers of talent. Like we're used to the guys like O and Will Wade that could bring the guys in, but then they couldn't really develop them after they came in. They were great recruiters, but maybe not the best X's and O's guys. Well, now you have the X's and O's guys, and it's like it's going to be a mind shift, especially with the basketball, until we can get the talent in, and hopefully you can bring the big time guys like the other programs are doing. How they're all cheating and buying the players, same thing.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's like we're so used to having coaches with emotions like Ogeron and like Will Wade. While he wasn't like emotional off court, on court, he showed his emotions a lot. Like
he was emotional at the press conferences. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
right.
You living under a rock,
man. Yeah, you live under a rock.
Right. So I think we're kind of used to that.
It's an arena, not a gym. It's an arena.
Right. So I think when we have guys like Brian Kelly come in, and Brian Kelly's emotion and humor is very like a stale like sarcasm almost. Like we're not really used to that. We're used
Right.
to
And LSU will
closure.
get behind a winner, no doubt. But
Oh, for sure.
it's just like it's gonna take a while because I don't think this team's gonna like win a ton of games at first. So
Mhm.
if we finish the year like 18-12, which is a fine record, I don't think people are gonna be like, "Wow, McMahon, I love this guy." Like the basketball program's back and stuff. I don't think it's gonna be like that. So it's gonna be a lot of like 5 to 6,000 attendance type games. I
I
think
agree. I agree. It's very fickle
it's
for
it's it's
LSU
kind of
basketball.
yeah.
Like if you're not really winning, then or if you're not really exciting, like it's hard to
Mhm.
draw them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a tough one for basketball. It always has been.
yeah.
All right. Well, that's good
Let
basketball
me
talk. I didn't think
actually
we were going to get into that.
can I
Yeah, you
touch on
didn't
something
think you were
really
gonna
quick?
get that today.
I didn't
Here
Can I
think
you
touch
so.
on
are.
something really
Here we
quick?
are. Don't talk about
Adam
baseball.
Miller.
Okay.
Adam
He's
Miller back.
he's back, but he's actually like pretty active on campus. And like I
Mhm.
know a lot of
Really?
students who have like met him a couple times. Like,
Active how?
well, like so like he between classes, he has like he's one of the guys on the scooters, but like he'll be like one of the guys to walk with it. But like he'll just like talk to people. Like the
Really?
other day, he's in the English class before me, and we had like a 20-minute conversation just between classes.
No way.
Just about like rap and music. Just he's like a very like easygoing guy. Like I think a lot of people have had those like interesting conversations with Adam Miller that like
So did you
a
get him to
lot of
come
the
on the podcast? Is
students
he coming on?
like Adam Miller as a person. I know that.
Yeah, when's he coming on the podcast?
Yeah.
I don't
Did
know.
you did you
I'll drop the
discuss it?
pod. I'll drop the pod.
Come on, dude. Come on,
Uh,
dude. You got to drop that every chance you get.
I know.
That's right.
What are we paying you for? Are we paying him?
All right, all right.
Are we paying
It's
this
the
kid?
end of the podcast. Let's wrap it
End of
up.
the podcast.
All right. We appreciate everybody for listening. And we appreciate all of our sponsors. Go check out our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Like and share on YouTube as well if you're watching. Also, go check out our TikToks. We're going to be back. We were hoping to Tennessee was going to be our big home game that we're going to get a whole bunch of content. But now it's 11
Nope.
o'clock, so we'll figure
We're
that
gonna
out.
get content.
Well, last time we went to the RV lot and we
Sunrise
did all
content.
that. I mean, it was pretty good. So maybe we'll talk
Mhm.
about that. We'll figure out what we're gonna do.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So for Charlie behind the scenes, and then you got Jack. It has been One Team, One Podcast.
Logging out.